Guys, shows, live shows, Sex Unique podcast, only like pretty much like a month and a half away.
Yeah.
At the Dynasty Typewriter, January 11th and the 18th, 2023. Dynasty Typewriter in LA.
We're going to be at Dynasty Typewriter on January 11th and January 18th. I beg of you.
You're begging. We're begging like.
I'm begging like Vinny, except not, because we both have more dignity than that. I'm just saying, get your tickets now and come law with us. It's going to be such an enjoyable time.
Come see what the fuss is all about.
Tickets are on sale. You can go to the description of the podcast to learn more and get links. And we'll see you there.
Happy holidays, 'tis the season. It's officially Christmas season.
It is Christmas time.
You're kind of.
I am a little
You
bit
and Mango are
Christmassy.
like.
You know what?
You guys are linked today.
I'm a little bit in the Christmas spirit. Don't push me. I'm a little bit in the Christmas spirit this year.
Good.
And I might get a wreath. I might get 2 wreaths. I've been looking at Williams-Sonoma. I might get a wreath.
For the little gate?
Yeah, for the gate.
Love that. You should do like a California Christmas wreath.
You know what I found, which was really cute?
What?
Which Williams-Sonoma has a peace sign wreath.
Oh, that's very
And I was
you.
like, that's very like
LA.
Christmas, but LA, but
Yeah.
also peace and not too like on the nose.
Right. That sounds good. I truly, and I've talked about it before, but there's nothing better to me than LA at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like heaven to me.
From like December 18th or that
Yes.
last Friday before Christmas through New Year's.
Perfect time to be in LA.
Heaven.
Everyone's gone.
No traffic.
No
You
traffic.
can get to Italy and back in no time.
You can dash to Italy. You can dash over to the west side and make it back in time for dinner.
This is making me not want to go anywhere for Christmas. But
Don't.
stay here.
I'm literally like, I never want to. I'm so Stockholmed with LA, even though like I've complained about it. I like never want to leave.
I know, me too. Guess what? I really am like,
Guess what?
all I do is bitch and moan about how much I hate it here, which I do. But at the same time, I'm putting down bigger roots than ever because I got a king size bed.
Congratulations. When you told me that, I was really happy for you.
Thank you.
You've earned this.
I've been craving this for a year.
You need to rock yourself.
Do you understand that I sprawl in the king size and look left and look right? And it truly, there is no better luxury than king size life.
Do you starfish?
I starfish. Sometimes I'll roll to one side and just look at the other and be like, there could be a whole person in here. It wouldn't even bug me. Sometimes I roll to the other side and then look at the other side. And then but I definitely sleep in the middle every night. I'm not like a one side of the bed sleeper.
Why wouldn't you not?
I go full middle. Some people, they are Stockholmed in their own king size and they stick to one side of the bed. I'm talking about single people that aren't in like a couple.
Well, no, but like when Simon's out of town, I sleep full middle.
Yeah.
Because like it's just true luxury.
The ultimate.
The ultimate luxury is to sleep center stage.
In a king size bed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to everyone that doesn't have a king size bed out there. You're missing out. Like, I'm sorry. There's not much I can do for you except tell you to, I don't know, go get a king size.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Wait, I'm also watching. I'm almost finished with season 9 of Real Housewives of Orange County. A listener said that season 9 and 10 are canon because it has the introduction of Shannon Bedore,
right,
and her dark journey. Which we need to give it up for Shannon. She's really, you know what? She's done that.
She steps her pussy up.
She has given her all.
She's literally sacrificed her soul for the show.
She has.
She's literally mothered herself. She's truly locked herself in a labyrinth of like terror for us. She's a saint.
She's bled out. She's been through it all, and she's too fragile for this world, yet here she is day after day putting in the work.
Shannon Bedore is the only cast member of any Real Housewives who could receive stigmata.
She could.
She would. Shannon would be the only
incommunicado with like the other side in some way. I didn't realize she was such like a holistic diva. She goes to see her acupuncturist every day. Dr. Moon.
Do you know how much money that requires?
So much. It's a bare minimum $100 a visit.
Well, she is from.
She is from
money.
Like, money.
So I think she has. For me, she's almost like Jennifer Coolidge in White Lotus. Like she's
so her.
The trappings of just like someone that's only ever known privilege and is like, but somehow has all the problems in the world and is like miserable.
It's incredible.
She's one of a kind.
And Heather tries to like 5150 her at one point. Tamra is just spreading lies left and right.
Heather's such a troll.
Heather is a troll. I now see, I was like, oh, damn. Like the Dubrows, you don't want them on your bad side. They are actually like evil incarnate.
They are.
But then they are also
funny.
Yeah. And you want to be friends with them.
Did you get to the part with the girl in the cake?
Which part is that?
Is that an earlier? It's like one of their friends, Sarah Winchester, who's like I think was at the insurrection, is like on like mescaline or something, and she's at a party thrown by the Dubrows, and in the middle of Heather's speech, she takes a big in the middle.
No,
of it,
I haven't.
Goes and takes a big scoop of the ice cream and goes and eats like an edible candle or something.
Maybe that's
and
next
Heather's
season.
just like, what? It was like it's like true sociopath shit, and then she kind of gaslights her into being like, I didn't do that, but it was like it's incredible.
I love that. Heather's always getting like she's always like a little put off by people's like she's really dealing with like microaggressions that she experiences with other people every day.
She's like Miss Emily Post.
Yeah. And then Vicki and Brooks. Brooks has not faked cancer yet, but there's a moment where he looks at Vicki and he tells her she's the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. He goes, you're the most gorgeous creature I've ever seen. He goes, you do it for me unlike anyone else. And then they're all at a dinner party like later in the season. And they're like, tell us, every man go around the table and tell like what your favorite body part is of your partner. And it gets to Brooks and Vicki and he goes, I gotta say, her brain. And they go, no, that's cheating. You have to choose a body part. And he goes, well, then that would be her vagina. And I'm dead.
Yeah. They fuck constantly.
They have hot sex too. I get
yeah, because it's like fraudulent fucking.
Yeah, because he's like a full blown
Dirty John. He's like
con artist.
He's like a Flannery O'Connor character.
He is
like Joyce. He's very like, where are you going? Where have you been?
And only
Joyce
Vicki
Carol
Gunvalson would fall prey to a Brooks.
Yeah, because he's like a seedy. He's truly that story by Good Country People where the guy steals the woman's wooden leg, the traveling Bible salesman
to read that.
Who like grifts her and ends up stealing her leg and keeping her trapped in like the top part of a barn.
Yeah.
That's literally Brooks.
Brooks would do that, except then he wouldn't have someone to like pay for dinner.
Yeah.
So he just fucks you senseless. His version of stealing a leg is like fucking you until you cannot walk.
Vicki is so it's like not even love bombing, it's like love napalm.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all know what happens from there.
And
but also his relationship with her daughter is dark.
Up. And her hatred of Oklahoma fills me with so much joy.
Brianna.
But the end of the season, to tie it back to like apologizing to non-king size bed owners, was like Bravo shot this like little like funny interlude with the women where they all like apologize for like the offensive shit they said, which back then they actually were saying some offensive shit. Vicki's like, I'm sorry to Italians and Mexicans for getting them confused, is something she literally said. And it stays, I mean, she is like literally racist.
Yeah, she's like,
she's like a racist wench, but also I'm obsessed with her. Like, not because of that.
Yes,
also not because of that.
She's like disgusting.
She's
like,
a character study.
Yeah, but
it evens out because just horrible shit happens to her.
She does
like
get.
it's like life is not giving her. She's karmically ensnared in her own like making, so it feels great.
Has Megan arrived yet?
No, but that
Megan?
Lizzie is there, and she's like annoying.
Really annoying.
But all the women are like, Heather Dubrow's like, I'm sorry, I have a chef and I don't have to cook anything. Actually, I'm not that sorry. And I was like, work. And then, and then Vicki goes in the reunion. Andy Cohen is like, do you have anything you want to say about Oklahoma? Or like, Oklahomans are really pissed that you talk so much shit. And she was like, flat, boring. She goes, no one cares about it. Awful place to live, ugly. And then he goes, can you say one good thing? And she goes, you get good for what you pay, you can live nicely. And I was like, the reads are true.
Wow.
Vicki, she's not having it with Oklahoma.
I like that she's doubling down because she's like, well, I'm never.
She tripled down
Because she knew her daughter's not going to end up staying there. So
no.
She's like, I'll never have to go to. She's like, oh, Vicki, Oklahoma has made it so that Vicki can't fly over Oklahoma. Do you know that there's a cemetery in Kansas that the Pope was traveling, Pope John Paul, like the famous one from the 70s and on, was traveling across America, and he made his plane divert around the cemetery in Kansas called the Stoll Cemetery because apparently it's a gate to hell.
I believe it. Did Ariana Grande go by that cemetery?
Probably.
Remember she went by some cemetery that she saw like a demon in.
Yeah.
Remember when she was like always seeing demons? I think she's in communication with the other side.
Yeah.
But she like experienced something.
But Kansas and Oklahoma they're on some kind of.
It's like.
New Jersey too.
Untrustworthily flat in that area.
New Jersey is a gate to hell.
But also New Jersey is truly a gate to macaroni heaven.
I know.
Like New Jersey is not a gate to hell.
No, but there's a place called the Gates to Hell from like that weird New Jersey book. But yeah, but it is a great place.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But like I really think that like
Oklahoma's
the
a gate
plains,
to hell.
yeah. Because it's also like there's like huge Trail of Tears vibes. So I think that
it's cursed.
Energy lingers over
our like horrific past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Land Rush. It's just like, and it's also Great Depression vibes as fuck. It's Dust Bowl energy. I stand with Vicki. But yeah.
Good for you. I'm glad you're.
Oh, and I have to all those who are wondering, there's a flat screen on the way. So my roots.
You're
basically,
laying them down.
I'm laying them down.
Say what you will about this place.
And making a true bedroom that I never have to leave.
We had a TV at one point in Simon's bedroom at his old place, but we were like, we didn't.
You felt a little bit Carrie Bradshaw about it?
I was just like, I don't want to like shit where I eat kind of thing. But.
My love language is.
Bed and TV.
Chilling so fucking hard in a king size bed with someone.
I'm not judging it. I just
watching a OLED TV. That's literally so big. Yeah, I was at Best Buy because they were running all these sales, and I had accumulated credit card points to have like, so that I could get like an insane discount. And I was like talking to a guy there, and he's like, I'm like, which is the best one? What's the best, like, what would you
What's
do?
the best buy?
Yeah, what's the best buy, man? And he was like, well, I think like for the bedroom, like you probably wouldn't want to go bigger than like 55. And I was like, no, I want to go 65. And he was like, oh, okay.
My dream is to have like a screen come down at the end of the bed. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. Best Buy. Let's also hear it for the people that work at Best Buy.
Honestly,
they
have my ultimate respect. Every one of them is so nice.
They're so fucking nice. Like Apple Store geniuses are.
Don't apologize to me.
They're mean. They're patronizing and like
They think they're hot shit because they work at Apple.
I respect them for the skills that they have, but people at Best Buy, they speak my language.
They honestly.
Because if I'm like, I don't know what this thing is, and I describe, like, they're not, I know that they're not like
They want to help.
Or they're just like, they're used to like dumb people like me coming in and being like, what is this thing? And they're like, oh yeah, it's like over there.
Some man.
Apple, they're like this.
They're like, They like unlock your phone. They're like, you do it like this. Some man at Best Buy was like,
mango.
I'll never not think of, you know that book, Hoe Tactics? Did you ever read that or like know of that book?
What?
Hoe Tactics?
No.
There is this, I've talked about this on Babe years ago, but there's this author, G.L. Lambert, who wrote a book. He wrote a bunch of books on dating for women, mostly aimed at like Black women that are like somewhat problematic. But he too is Black. But it's like, he wrote this book called Hoe Tactics. It's basically like how to be a hoe and like get like a sugar daddy. And his advice was to get as dressed up and like gorgeous as you possibly can, and then stroll into Best Buy and just like go in the aisles of the most expensive stuff and just look for a man, like target a man who's like in those aisles, because if they're shopping for like really expensive electronics, they can likely afford you, and then you like you get their number, and that's how you go like fishing. But I've always, now that's forever tied to Best Buy for me.
Best Buy has cruising energy,
but not these.
This is fucking the home in the home theater area.
This is like very pre-internet dating vibes, because now, and with all the Black Friday deals, it's not the time to go fishing. And there was one man in the flat screen Sony area, and I was like, this is literally like not. Like, I don't want anything to do with this man. And then he tried to tell me about like, he tried to like educate me on TVs. A civilian. Like a man in like a bucket hat, but like an old man in a bucket hat that like just speaks at length too much and like doesn't know when to like leave.
Speaks at women.
Yeah, and he was like, well, you actually probably don't want to go with this model, and you'd want to go with that because it has like a blah, blah, blah lag time, and you'll find blah. And I was like, oh, really? And then I was like, is this Best Buy employee just like trying to fuck me right now? And like, I looked at my Best Buy guy and I was like, what's this about this like lag time? Tell me the truth. And he was like, no, they all have the same and there's no lag time. He goes, every one of them has like this thing, and the guy was wrong. And then the guy kept trying to like talk to me, and I was like, you literally have to get away from me.
That's like grounds for like, sorry, execution.
I literally was like, I saw him going into the parking garage as I was leaving, and I was like waiting for him to like get fully in his car and away.
Did you go to La Brea?
Yeah, because I was like, I can't interact with this man.
No, that's
this was
like,
a Best Buy Hoe Tactics. When Hoe Tactics goes wrong,
he's not a sugar daddy.
No,
he's a patronizing.
I was like, what are you here for? What'd you even buy?
Maybe he's from a mom and pop shop that's trying to sabotage.
He was trying to sabotage my flat screen dreams.
That whole shopping complex is very stressful for me. That Target, it's like my Target.
Yeah.
But I always feel very stressed when I'm in there.
It's an intense Target.
It's just the whole like complex.
I like the parking garage.
Parking garage is great. And if you're there within a half hour in and out, it's free.
I usually will only go to the Best Buy and like tend to not venture into the other areas because they are a little too confusing for me. There used to be a good Mendo there. Is there still a Mendocino Farms? Oh, damn.
No, there is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's right next to Formosa Cafe.
I love that.
Formosa Cafe.
But yeah. So
good for you. I'm really happy.
making my
holiday dream come true.
I know. It only took a year.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Good things come to those who wait for a year.
Yeah.
And talk about it on their podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Really fast. Speaking of like harrowing, we need to talk about like the Balenciaga of it all.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So there's basically like the satanic panic of the 80s is back. People are crying groomer. We knew this, but like it's reaching a fever pitch. This is like textbook example of like everyone has lost the fucking plot.
Also, like I had heard about, I didn't know about this as it was like happening in real
No, I
time,
didn't
and then I
either.
heard someone talking about it on a podcast, and then I was like, oh my god, and it sounded really bad.
Right.
And I was like I like went looking for the photos because I was like, oh my god, like what is everyone freaking out about? I looked and I was like,
That's it.
really? That's it? I was like, this is not like, that's not that weird.
I mean, honestly, my thing is like critique it for being corny because it's not like good, but it's like to say that it's what they're saying is that it's pedophilia and child pornography. I'm like,
No,
it's just
it's categorically not either of
no.
those things.
And now Balenciaga has deleted all of their social media presence, which is insane because they're so big. Kim Kardashian has released a statement.
People being
As
like,
the face of Balenciaga and a mother of 4, I was horrified. I'm like, fuck you, Kim. I'm sorry. That's
no, she's only saying something because
I
the
know she is.
backlash
No, I know
was
she is,
like
but it's
so
like-
intense that it was like,
I know,
and that
I-
statement is like meaningless and fake.
it's just fake. And Business of Fashion rescinded their award to them. Did you see that?
No.
Like it's I'm sorry, but all of these like they care until they have to.
Yeah, no
And
one
it's-
actually cares.
And all it's doing is like fueling this like weirdly, it's like this child molester scare it's just, and you should see on like social, it's like Pizzagate.
No, it's so misguided, and like I think that
It's like weirdly homophobic too.
having the like legal document
Yeah.
thing was a weird move. That was like a move that maybe if you hadn't had that, it kind of would have just been fine. It was a little bit odd, but
With them suing or whatever.
no, they had in one of the office photos, they like it's like a picture of a purse on a desk and then all these documents, but one of the documents was like a Supreme Court ruling about child pornography that basically said if you can like a sexually explicit image is not necessarily child porno, like featuring a child is not
Yeah.
necessarily child pornography, which like I understand the concept of what they're trying to do and what they're insinuating here, which is like, this is a little bit edgy, but like it's also okay, but it's also not child porn. I get it. But like
a
at
little
the
on the nose.
holidays, you might just want to not do it. And in this day and age, you could just take the kids out, put the little toy on the thing, and like avoid this whole thing.
I agree with that. I think it's honestly like,
It's
if
just
anything,
like-
it's just misguided and dumb.
But
that's,
also,
that's
yeah, for
I agree with you.
for
But to say it's
this is not child porn. This is not grooming. And also, it's so, I'm like, you literally maybe need to go within like a mile of your own home to find actually people exploiting children in real ways all around you. Like people, I think, and this is back to like QAnon era. I think people freak out about this because they would rather point fingers at something like this than actually admit that like there are child molesters running rampant. There are within your own family, probably like just general in families, like inherited trauma of like molestation and sexual assault and like ingrained in culture and like human trafficking. Like there are so many more things that are actually like much more uglier and harder
Yeah.
to face.
totally.
But putting all the blame on something like this, which doesn't normalize anything, it's just like cheesy, bad Euro taste. Like
That's
it's kind of neither here
totally
nor
what
there.
yes.
Like let's like really
Let's do some
figure out what the real problem is.
Yeah, some reflection, and like you see these people who are just like crying and like pointing finger. It's like, you know,
You're like, where did they touch you?
yeah.
How about that? How about that? Like, and I'm not saying that as like a judgment.
But-
I'm saying that as like, that's the real problem.
And it's like and then, you know, a lot of the stuff I've been seeing is like, it's like there's like then it switches from like anti-pedophilia to like, which I think we all are, to to no, but I'm saying like they think that there's like liberals are like cool with it or whatever. But then it also goes into like weirdly homophobic stuff about like the leather and harness stuff and like how we're all pigs. And then now it's veering into like they're all ranting against like the former Balenciaga creative director, that Lara, who's like that like goth girl who's like that cool goth. Anyway, she's not even with Balenciaga anymore, and they're like coming for her and probably sending her death threats, and it's just unbelievable.
It's so bizarre, but ultimately I wonder if it actually hurts business that much. I think like a huge scandal like this, I mean, we'll see, because I guess like pedophilia is not good for business, but like pedophilia rumors, but I think that it ultimately will be fine for them. Yeah. It's just my hunch. No, they're like backed by like $1 billion conglomerate. Like I think it's gonna be okay.
No, just to me, what freaks me out is like, and I know it's just what they have to do, but like to see celebrities who were like sucking their dicks a week ago just suddenly being like, as a mother or as a father, I cannot
well, that's on the huge scale of exactly what like not like this is now like a larger scale where celebrities are having to do this, but this is like what people were doing during like cancellation summer. Like when there would be one person on Twitter, like one person that would get like under fire, getting like flamed, and then like people coming out of the woodwork that would be like friends or colleagues being like, I stand against them, blah, 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 blah. And like, and tattletaling on each other and like just like putting each other on blast. It's like kind of a macro scale of that.
But to see...
And Kim Kardashian, that's like the fakest statement. Like she doesn't give a shit. Bella Hadid, I don't think gives a rat's ass. Like the checks are clearing regardless. Yeah, like no.
Also, do you think Isabelle Huppert even knows she was in a Balenciaga?
So fucking stupid that you see this and you get all hyped up about, I'm so mad, and then you go, you know what? The only thing that's going to make this right is if Kim Kardashian releases a statement.
No! It's like
I'm sorry, you're so fucking dumb if you think that makes a shred of difference.
And just like, we're rescinding this award. It's like, you are so full of shit. Like, also fashion, I'm sorry, the fashion industry, which has been exploiting young people for... ever.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about like 14-year-old models that are flown over from Russia? What about that Luke Brunel, who was like best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, human trafficking, like Eastern European model children,
who died in jail.
Was like, like fucking all of these young girls, technically children. Like that is harder for people to look at than a really dumb, stupid ad,
corny ad.
People don't want to talk about it. Exactly. It's actually insane, and it boggles my mind. It doesn't actually boggle my mind, but it just is like,
it's unsettling.
I'm just like, how are people not waking up to how fucking dumb they are every day? Like, how do you go through life being like so reactionary to every little thing that happens? Your nervous system must be like falling apart at the seams. Imagine being like, another day and Kim Kardashian hasn't spoken out. What the fuck?
And then when she does speak out, you're like, she needs to kill herself. Let her.
I don't accept that.
She must die for her sins.
Do you hear yourself?
But this
disconnect, babe.
But it's just this. But this
it's
like
never ending. It's never ending.
This never ending Pizzagate that we're in is just like, it's just changes forms, but it's truly going. It's like here to stay.
Well, I think it's until people are ready to face the fact that these things are actually
happening,
far more
common
and happening right in front of your very eyes, and have likely happened to you or someone you're very close to. Until people are really ready to look at that and accept that, which is a dark fucking truth. It sucks. Like it is
painful.
Filled with it's painful, it's shameful, but until people are ready to do that kind of emotional work, this shit's gonna keep happening, just on different scales. But I think it's ultimately like an awakening process. I really do, because sooner or later you have to get to like some sort of universal truth, which is that we don't need Kim Kardashian. Actually,
I don't want to hear
we
it.
like literally don't need her to say or do anything. Like
No.
you can like it and engage with the show or whatever, which I do, but I don't need anything from her.
No, I don't
Like my
either.
life is like
I'm good.
it's a true doesn't matter if she's doing anything or not doing anything. I don't need it. And neither do you, and neither does anyone.
But still. She must say something. And then when she does say something, it's not good enough.
No,
she
like,
must
it's
set
just
herself on fire.
Like, what do you want? Like, people just like want people. They want to see
want
these
people to
celebrities to
self-immolate.
so they want to see them like hanged.
Well, that's coming.
It's just like, but I think ultimately it's just realizing like none of this fucking matters. Like, it's all fake, much like the royal family.
Well, it's a good time to announce that today on our podcast, we have a special guest. Balenciaga.
Balenciaga. Wait, also, what weirds me out is Balenciaga's like, now we're suing the creative director team.
I know.
I'm like, but
wait,
but
you,
babe,
you hired them.
You hired. Yeah, I'm like, so that is fucked. Because
that's fucked. That is the one thing. Yeah,
I've
they're
been
suing them for $25 million. They're going, they set us up. It's like, wait,
you approved
this
everything.
This is your idea.
Your company.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. I've been doing like copywriting for some like fashion, like online fashion campaigns. I did one for Coperni. That sugar alert. It had some babies in it.
It's Ann Geddes. Ann Geddes.
It was Ann Geddes' core. It was Ann Geddes'
you could
core.
say she's a groomer.
I know, but I was like, have I groomed? And then I did one for Jacquemus, and I know.
He's so hot.
I know. But like,
I know.
Simon
Jacquemus.
I love him, Jacquemus.
I do love him.
No, I love him.
I want him and his husband to.
I want to go and I'm going to tap you out and get in there. But I was like, those are run by like a French company that is hired by those brands to then produce these things. But it's not like a brand just goes, you do whatever you want to do and then put it online and then it just happens. Yeah. They fucking, you approve
they literally went, Sacre bleu.
Did you see what happened on the website?
Did you see? Oh, who are these people? Where did they come from? It's like, bonsoir.
Mon chéri.
Merci. Excusez-moi. What is this? It's like, you fucking did this.
Yeah, you literally have like.
Don't make these people. These
I know this poor like.
These
who's
people
to take the fall.
These are creatives behind the scenes people who are like just trying to do what they're told to do.
Also, I'm like.
And they're being
when
crucified.
I saw that, because I saw Balenciaga like on their socials had announced all of these like, which I think is just a total cash grab. It's like very unsustainable, like in this day and age, in this fucking trash island economy. I was like, you're releasing like plates, cups. Like I was like, this is beneath you, but I guess like you have to get your bag. And if like you're gonna do this the holiday season and like net out, then like go off, queen. But I'm like, this is all just in the spirit of them trying to make money off of people that can't actually afford like to wear the clothes but want to buy like an ashtray. I'm like, this is just them trying to get their dollar. And I think that that's kind of funny that it backfired. And I don't think it's grooming.
Oh! Sacre bleu!
Mon chéri!
Ann Geddes. They're gonna. I swear she's next.
She's next.
They're gonna be like,
leave Ann out of this.
Ann Geddes. What people? Someone's gonna be like, when are we gonna like? Ann Geddes is a groomer, but we're not ready to talk about that. But people aren't ready to talk about that yet. When are we gonna talk about the fact that Ann Geddes has groomed a generation of babies in potted plants?
Those kids probably got paid.
No, I know. I'm like, when are we gonna announce it? Ann Geddes groomed a generation of babies who are seated head to toe in a sugar jar.
It's sick. She made a baby pretend to sleep in a fucking tulip. She put a bonnet. Tulip. She put a bonnet on a baby and pretended it was a bumblebee.
How sick. Well, speaking of babies, our babies. I'm Carey.
I'm Lara.
And you're listening to Sexy, Unique Ann Geddes.
Jersey Shore, bitch.
It's the morning after the big hookup between the two Staten Island royals, and you hear a song going, "Don't throw it all away. You think you're so tough."
Angelina smirking while sliding out of Vinny's bed haunts me.
In like the night vision,
she's
so
like,
sick.
It's sick, and I just am like, I'm triggered on a variety of levels, but we'll get into it. But I was like, her slither smirking out of the bed. I was like, oh my God, I hate this.
I'm kind of like, what you think you did, you didn't do.
But also, ultimately, justice for Angelina.
Me too. I agree with you.
But
Snooki finds out and immediately goes, "She's a whore." It's like, even though she just fucked Vinny 2 nights earlier, she's a slut.
She goes, Sammy comes out of her room, Snooki turns, she goes, "Angelina's being a whore right now." I love right now.
What?
What
do you mean? I'm glad she's kind of fallen off.
I know. I'm also just shaken to my core by the fact that she and Ronald are just fully together now.
Yeah.
Like they are a couple.
Angelina, Snooki looks over with one smear of mascara.
She's what she do.
She goes, "What'd she do?" She had sex with Vinny. Oh my God, Angelina's being a whore.
Angelina's being a whore right now. And the phone rings and Angelina answers it and it's Vinny's mom calling.
She goes, "Hello?" She goes, "Hi, honey, it's Paula. It's Vinny's mom." And she goes, "Oh, yeah, hey. Is Vinny there? Let me check because we just woke up." She's so rude on the phone.
I know. I was like, ugh.
I would never speak to a parent like that.
Me neither.
I'm
Have a little respect.
And then Vinny's mom is coming with his family. And I guess I think they drove down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Angelina's sitting on the couch, basking in the post-coital glory, and like Sitch and Pauly D are making fun of her, and I was like, this sucks. And as a woman who has been a proud whore in the past and then gotten treated like this, I really do have to demand justice for Angelina because she did not do anything that these guys have not done.
They're so mean.
They're really mean. And
Pauly calls her a landfill.
Her personality sucks.
She's the worst vibes.
She's true, like
bad vibes.
Terrible vibes, but she did not deserve to be called the Staten Island dump.
No, and also these guys are the biggest sluts of all. They're literal whores.
They would fuck anything.
They're desperate to fuck. They're calling women at like 7 a.m. and like we'll get to that later, but like they go above and beyond what any of these women have done.
Yeah.
But she's a whore.
But there was one interesting point where Mike goes, Angelina has proven the hoe equation, which is that if a guy is nice to you, a girl will never fuck him, and she will go out and fuck like the meanest like guy.
And she did.
And that is sometimes how it works. And you know what? That's just the way it is sometimes. When you have daddy issues, self-esteem issues, or
ODD.
Like White Lotus.
Yeah.
It's just like girls like a challenge sometimes. Yeah, ODD.
Vinny's so mean. And Ron is like, he's like, I came in last night and you guys were under the covers and I grabbed my cig and ran away like a child. And then
I kind of love, Ron's like love and light about the situation.
Okay.
Though.
Weirdly, Ron is the only feminist in this house. Because this
was a shocking twist.
At one point, we'll get to it. But I was a little like, okay, Ron, you might be a domestic abuser, but at moments you have justice for women.
And that's the gorgeous thing about these people.
Nuance.
They can be both.
Not everything is one or the other.
Yeah. Vinny's mom and Uncle Nino come
and like a 12-person entourage arrive.
I'm obsessed with his family.
They literally come for like a day.
24 hours.
I bet they go to like Disney World or something.
Yeah, or maybe they just have like a long weekend vacation.
They come in. She's brought like tons of clothes for Vinny.
Well, first they go to the gelato shop.
Oh, right. She comes in.
I'm sad because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Uncle Nino is dead now.
Did he die of COVID?
No, I think he just died during Family Reunion season 2.
I mean, he seems
like his lifestyle would catch up to him eventually. Yeah. Let's put it that way.
Not laughing.
Snooki and JWoww.
I'm not laughing. Don't haunt me, Nino.
Chaining cigs, walking down the street, flipping their hair, and then posting up at the bar at Venus Cafe. I was like, that's you and I at Ruth's Chris in Salt Lake City.
It really was.
I was like, that is us.
That's us on tour.
Je suis
us.
Zuki and JWoww. Sacre bleu.
JWoww has like a iced coffee and Snooki has like a cocktail. And she's pissed about it. Just because Snooki kind of likes Vinny.
Yeah, and I think like Angelina's attitude is just so polarizing that no one has any goodwill towards her. And I think if Angelina was nicer, no one would be shitting on her like this.
I mean, to the girl's credit, the girl called Snooki, to her credit, she was the first one to sort of extend an olive branch. And
then Angelina fucking aired her ass out.
And did this.
When they wrote the note to the kid, Ronnie.
And then had sex with a guy that Snooki's like has like a weird flirtation with. Mm-hmm. So I think it's triggering Snooki's insecurities, and it's also like, you know, this happened like we growing up seeing this, like a girl gets turned on by other girls too, and like gets called a whore too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But I do think that like, with everything going on, like no one is an angel in this house.
No.
But they ride Angelina like a little too hard, but then she does kind of bring it on herself by being so difficult to be around.
They should be calling her out for just being like a flop.
Yeah, sucking. For having like a bad. But I think they have been doing that and it hasn't gotten any better. So now it's like, all right.
I don't know why. It was just like really, this time around, especially, it was like really hard to watch.
I know. I felt really bad for her.
Like her having to laugh off being called the Staten Island landfill by Pauly D.
The dump.
I'm like, Pauly, you're a fucking...
You're no angel.
You're literal...
You're the whore.
You're the whore! He's sorry! He's sorry!
Yeah.
What?
No, I was just looking at your levels. You blasted people's eardrums out.
He's sorry. Sorry, everyone.
I'm crying.
Uncle Nino comes in and he's like, I think he's from Sicily.
I think he's just like
I think he has wet brain. I do.
Yeah, I think he's like a little R-slurred.
Oh no.
Okay,
take
fine.
that out.
Ness, take it out.
I think he's drank a little too much vino in his life.
Yeah, I'm crying at Vinny's mom bringing him bottled water.
That's like
for some reason that just
do.
like kills me. I also wrote justice for Angelina. She's a single lady with a nice rack.
Yeah. Her bangs
need to go. The haircut could change. The attitude could change.
She makes me like, I don't even have like this instinct that much, but she makes me like, she brings out like the gay part of me that's like,
the bitchy guy.
Get yourself together. Like, and like wants to like give her a makeover. Mm-hmm. Even though I don't, like, who am I to say anything about a makeover? But I'm just like,
no, but I feel that.
I'm just like, she instills that in me where I want to be like, come on, we're going to the fucking barber.
Yeah. And Jose is hot.
Okay. I get why she's like kind of like, he's a little annoying.
Well, he's too
eager.
too eager and he's given up all his power. There's no tension in the relationship.
But also like, it's a red flag for me. I feel like he's one of those people that would seem like a pushover and then would be like abusive.
Maybe. Uncle Nino and all the men in Vinny's family love JWoww.
Oh yeah, they love. He calls Snooki like Snooki.
He was Snooki. JWoww comes out and all the men just like fawn over her, and then Uncle Nino goes, "Oh, delicioso."
I love
and
it.
And JWoww's like beaming. I was like, she was born to be admired.
Paula makes Angelina first falls in a place of sunglasses, which I'm like, it's not good.
Just watch out.
Jose comes over and is a little too familiar with Vinny's mom, and you can kind of see that she's a little like, who the fuck are you?
Really? I thought they seemed nice.
Maybe I'm just anti-Jose.
I think you're really anti-Jose, and that's something you can examine.
All right.
But like, I think that he's like nice.
She makes a 9-quart, like, so the way I was literally like, my mouth was watering when they were describing a typical like Sunday dinner for Italians. It's like they eat appetizers, then eat some pasta, and then they take a break and digest. And then they come back to the table and eat the entree, which is like chicken parm, sausages and peppers, all the different kinds of like Italian meats. And then they take another break. And then they come back later for dessert. And then they go and take another break.
That's all I want.
It was like,
what? Like, I need an Italian only dating app for like Italian men looking for non-Italian women.
Yeah.
This is my dream, is to have this on a Sunday.
Vinny goes, there aren't many women like my mom anymore.
There aren't. Who
will just
bend over backwards and only put everyone else first.
They don't eat. They just prepare.
That is a lost feminine art.
Not eating while preparing food for everyone.
I think she eats some. She's eating in the kitchen as she goes.
But that is very like my Nana.
Yeah. With like the modern feminist movement has really eliminated the doting mothers that put themselves last. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. My mom is a modern woman.
Mm-hmm.
But she definitely was like absurd about my sister and me, of like making sure we had, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But like, I feel like our mother's generations, like that generation is one of the last, like I think less and less women with each generation are like that. And it's on the verge of extinction.
My mom was in the pro-choice club at her all-girls Catholic college, but was also like in the kitchen.
Yeah. I'm not talking about, I'm not speaking to like their politics.
Right.
As much as just the dynamic of
it's real.
The woman doing everything for her family, and that's why they've come first.
And that's why Vinny's so unsatisfied with all the women he meets, is because they're not his mom.
Yeah, but that's why when he meets a woman, he reverts to little boy status. I was haunted by Vinny's game in this episode.
By Ramona.
Are
you harrowed? Do you
harrowed? I'm harrowed.
Do you see?
But I also have like pity. We'll get there.
They all go out in the hot tub, and they like JWoww comes out in a full bikini, and Nino's like smoking cigars and smoking cigs and drinking wine in the hot, and he's just like he's kind of like he's like, what is that? He's kind of like the alien in Independence Day.
Yeah.
That's like in the
Why is it that it's like so fun to like entertain like a horny old man like that?
Because it's like
they're ultimately or like even like a horny old woman, like you kind of like,
because there's a sense of like power that you feel.
Yeah, because they can't really do anything.
I mean, some can.
I mean, I think he grabs ass.
Yeah.
And like you just kind of deal with that. But like there's something still when you're in that zone, when it's like you're all hanging out in that way, that it's kind of just like charming and fun.
Because someone like him, I think, almost like carnivalizes himself, where he's like becomes like he's
a court jester.
Yeah, he's like a clown. You're a clown.
I was watching a couple
like,
episodes of Big Angie's show. It's just like her life and lifestyle is so incredible to me. She like gets on so unhealthy. They have like a drunken monkey bus trip for all like the staff and like regulars to go to Atlantic City for like a day trip, and everyone's just like drinking on the bus, and there's a woman who's one of her good friends, the blonde woman that in the first episode of the season,
I remember
Big Ange threw a big party, and this woman was making out with one of the young employees and then fell over the hot tub and like brutally injured her arm, had to get like 40 stitches, and she's on the bus fully healed, and she's like 40 stitches and like still like grab assing with this young employee. And I was just like, these people do it differently. Jersey Jersey energy hits different. Italian American energy hits different.
Yeah, that woman's hard. She was hardcore. She was the one that was like, Ange was like, on the first episode was like, I can't really be drinking anymore or smoking because my doctor says I have to be careful with my cancer. And the woman's like, just drink. And
was that the one? There's like 3 different blonde, kind of crusty blonde ladies.
Oh, well,
this one's like a bit of a tertiary character.
Well, there was one that was in Mob Wives.
Oh,
like,
yeah, Linda. Linda is a bad influence.
Linda's like, do it, bitch. Like, have cocktails and smoke cigs. And she's like, all right, I can't do it anymore.
Linda's waking up literally in an episode. She's like, oh, I'm having such a headache. I'm so hungover. I'm like, bitch, you're 68.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing. They're not even that old. They just look,
how old are they?
They're like in their late 40s.
Damn.
They just
There's one that's so tan. I was like, you're the tannest white woman I've ever seen in my life.
But you know what, Big Ange?
She spend it all. Brightly. No, she goes, spend it all. Who cares? There's a whole episode where she like tries to buy a condo, and then she calls Janine, and Janine's like, you spent $11,000 on furniture last week. You can't go get a condo. And she goes, fine, I won't get the condo. And then she takes all her friends out and she goes, I have an announcement. I'm getting the condo.
Janine is her like sugar mama.
Mm-hmm. But
so they're out in the hot tub and everyone's getting kind of silly, and then they start bonking around like a volleyball or beach ball. And Angelina hits it too hard and it goes right into Snooki's face. Oof. And there was a moment where you saw momentary terror on Angelina's face because she knows.
She knows she fucked up.
But then she immediately gets ODD because Snooki's like, what the fuck, Angelina? She goes, oh, shut the fuck up! Grow up! Oh! Sorry, am I too loud again?
Yeah, just try and go.
Oh, shut the fuck up!
Yeah, just go away from the mic when you.
Okay, you
scream.
can take out the loudness.
No, it's fine. I mean, it'll like even out, but it just like goes. It's like you know, divas when they sing and they hit the high note and they, yeah.
But it was just like, Angelina, just say sorry, Snook.
Yeah, just be like, oh my god, I did not mean to do that.
I didn't mean to do that, but
she's so like combative. I hate it.
She needs like EDMR.
She needs a shot of Thorazine to the neck. She really does. Like whenever she starts yelling, they need like doctors in white coats to come out, restrain her, and like just give her a shot of Valium. She needs to be institutionalized. She needs to be thrown into the insane asylum. Angelina, Nino has like a joke. This is like these type of men, God bless them. He goes, I went to the doctor. He said, stop drinking, stop doing drugs, stop having sex. You know what I did? I switched fucking doctors.
I was like, damn.
Doing drugs. He's doing blow, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. But I was like, they must have censored that on the...
Did they?
Yeah, because I was like, damn. Because that's like kind of a hardcore thing to say on an MTV show.
But it's like a joke. Like if you're telling a joke, it's different from being like, hey, I do drugs.
I think he's doing a lot of blow.
Yeah.
They leave. The family goes to like Fort Myers or wherever the fuck.
Yeah, they go back to like their motel.
And they go out.
Angelina calls Jose and she just goes, hey, I can't go out with you tonight. And he's like, okay. She goes, okay, bye. And then hung up because she's now nervous that everyone's going to spill the beans.
She's like, Mike, please don't tell him. And of course, Mike's like lording this over her.
Yeah.
They get to the bar or the club and Mike swipes a girl away from Vinny. And at one point he just wags his face. And I'm like, you are so gay.
You're so gay.
You want to fuck Vinny so hard.
Well, I wrote like Mike is like Theo James's character in The White Lotus.
Mimetic desire.
Yeah, and where he sees what Vinny has and he needs to have it for himself.
Yeah.
And Angelina finds like another guy at the club.
Good for her.
I mean, this is also where Paul and Sitch
take home two girls
who are actually hot for once.
Yeah, they're sexy and like they think they're gonna get it in, but the girls sort of tease them and reveal that they both have boyfriends.
Which I was like, power move. They think that they're gonna have their like ritual
group sex
where they just lock eye contact while they like fuck girls
it's
and
all
just
they
like
want.
stare. Yeah, they're positively giddy.
And I think the girls sense this.
Yeah, they're like, we're being used in some sort of homosexual game.
We're vessels.
Mm-hmm. And Mike has also just started talking in AAVE for like this entire segment. Like, I don't know what spurred it, but it happens on this night and then it goes away. Do you think that's what it is? He didn't talk like this at the beginning of the episode and at the end of the episode.
Okay, they're looking to fuck at like 7 a.m. They're on drugs.
Yeah.
They're on at least Adderall. Like they're on something. Like,
yeah.
You can't. I know people say like I've had like, oh, if you're drinking that much, you can. But it's like, no, you need if you're over the age of 30, which both these guys are.
Yeah.
You need to have some kind of stimulant. And the way it was very speedy. The way they were like. So then the girls leave. They say, have fun playing with yourselves, which I was like,
work.
And then they are like going through their phone book. It's 6:30 in the morning now.
Just calling every girl they have a number for to see if someone will come over to fuck.
I was like, bitch, just download Grindr. You'll be.
I know, but Grindr didn't exist back then.
All right.
This was pre-Tinder.
But like this, they're primed for Grindr.
I know.
That's like, that was me at 6 in the morning on Blow, just like looking through and what?
They are doing like straight Grindr.
It basically is. And then one girl finally answers. They don't know her name.
Was sad for this woman. Cause like,
what? I was like, what are
to wake up at 6:30 a.m. to get a phone call at 6:30 a.m. and to take it and then be like, I'm gonna get ready and go over to these like two guys' house where they're filming a reality show to like go fuck one of them is like, I mean, more power to you, but that just doesn't seem empowered to me.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like fun.
She's like, so Mike's in the background, Polly's like, yo, come over, and Mike's in the background being like, tell her to bring a friend, but she can't be a grenade.
No grenades.
And the girl's like,
she's like, okay.
And then she finally comes over.
It's light outside, by the way.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. The birds are chirping. It's like that witching hour. That is the real witch. People say 3 a.m. is the witching hour. No, it's 6 a.m.
It's dawn.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry. Like, I don't think you're gonna be able to find any friend. Like, imagine your best friend calling you and being like, hey, do you want to go over to these guys' house and like fuck them? I'm gonna go fuck this guy. You want to come with me? Like, no other woman I don't think is gonna do that.
No.
Unless you're like an escort and you're getting paid handsomely, which they're not. They're doing it for free, which is even worse.
She comes over and she's like,
she goes, she's actually pretty.
She's pretty, but she looks like,
all my friends are grenades. And then Paul's like, okay, whatever. And he and her proceed to fuck while Sitch makes an egg sandwich and sits in his bed eating it, watching them having sex.
It's like,
that's some Roman era
egg sandwich.
This is like ancient Rome fucking shit. This is like they're Caligula. On some sort of different level.
I mean, can you imagine how tired you would be? Like, can you imagine imagine, and this is someone who's done this before, but like, imagine like the wretched feeling of going to someone's place that late/early in the morning and then sleeping for like 3 hours and then waking up and being like,
it's noon
and you're
or
like
10:30.
It's like, oh, I gotta get out of here. That is the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
There's no worse feeling.
That's like, I feel like the last time I did something like that was probably when I was like 19.
19.
Rockstar years. That's like a teenage, like 20 years old. That it's like any other time. Like, sorry, I'm not going anywhere at 6:30.
One time I remember I was like doing blow with my friend all night in New York. And then he lived in the East Village and I got to the subway and saw a friend or an acquaintance who was going to work on a Saturday. Like he was up early for like a shoot or something.
I hate that.
And he was just like, hey. And I was like, hey. And he's like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just going home. And it was so strange. And like, I think about it now, like what he must have been like this ghoul.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Anyway, that's what this reminded me of.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike continues to lord over Jose.
Angelina.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Ronnie is oddly very chill about it. And he goes, Angelina's a pimp. She's got game. Can't hate on it. And I was like, okay, thank you. Finally. Finally some sense amongst these men.
Yeah. And women.
Yeah. And they go out again.
Angelina's with Jose this time.
Yeah. She's like, come, we'll be here. Like, meet me there. Okay. And they're dancing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sorry. This is like, I was like, Sitch is on blow. Because this was Coke energy.
Yeah, he's on speed.
Yeah. He
Or
was like,
Coke.
come here. He's like, I got to tell you something, but if she doesn't tell you, I'm going to tell you. So you just let me know. And I was like, you're a bitch for that. Like, don't fucking do that.
And then Jose's like, what's he talking about? And she's like, okay, yeah, I made out with Vinny.
I hooked up with Vin.
And she says, they go outside and they talk about it more.
She puts her sunglasses on, which she's in a really terrible place.
And she says,
He's cuck energy, though.
yeah, he's like into it.
He's handling this like a true beta male.
And she goes, people's definitions of hook up is either kiss or fall all the way. And she goes, he don't need to know what the real one was.
I was like, go off. Yeah.
She's
he
like,
doesn't need to know.
And she's like, we're not exclusive.
It's actually none of his business.
It isn't. She's right.
Yeah.
This was where I was like, okay, I agree. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Justice for Ange.
But
Justice for Jolie. Remember when they called her Jolie?
But
Vinny's also dancing like in front of them. And I was like, you're rude for this too. Like, you're gross. And like,
I'm telling you, he's a mean meanie.
He's just like a child.
Well, then so he meets a girl named Ramona who's like a dancer.
Yeah.
And
he's
like,
in fedora mode, which is like someone's crossed over to the other side.
He goes, she has the best personality. She's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in Miami. And like, she's the greatest personality. I'm like, okay, one, you've talked to her for...
You're basing this on looks alone.
Looks alone. You talked to her for a minute. She's also working, so she's busy. And like,
she also has to be nice to you because her job is to be seductive with male patrons. She can't like be a bitch to you.
No,
because she works off of tips and she's doing her job. Also, she's like scantily clad. I love, like, she's so beautiful and is the best personality. She's like in underwear and a bra because that's her job.
Polly meets a really cool girl though.
Rocio.
She's nice and pretty, and
I mean, Ramona was stunningly gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. No, but she's like, it's like, don't expect her to like. I was just like, his entitlement to her is so insane.
He's like, you're so beautiful. Like, I'm gonna tell everyone that I met my wife tonight. I'm also like, you're wearing a tiny fedora, babbling to this woman. You're so drunk. She's just trying to do her job. Like, you need to like chill the fuck out. Like, have a little bit of game for the love of God.
And then the next day, he's like, he calls her.
This really darked me out.
He's like, yo, Ramona, and she's like, yeah. And he's like, yo, it's Vinny from last night. And she's like, oh, hey. He's like, yo, I want to take you out to dinner tonight.
No, he doesn't even say that. He goes,
I'm taking you out to dinner tonight?
No.
What?
He goes, so my friend Polly like met a girl and he like wants to take her out tonight and like I need someone to like go with me so I'm not just like weird third wheel. Like Carey, it was like shocking. He did not even ask her out on like a proper date. He said, do you want to... Also, if you like someone and you're trying to spit game and ask them out, you need to be like, hey, I want to take you, like what Paul does. You can't do come with me. He's too much of a pussy to actually say, like, I want to take you out on a date.
No, but that's he's like, if he is respectful and charming.
Well, it's also just he doesn't know how to like treat women, period, because he's like a baby.
Well, he goes, some girls deserve to be wined and dined. I was like, oh, okay.
He's also feeling himself because he just got fucked by Angelina.
Yeah.
He's like wearing more accessories than usual.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you are truly.
You should thank her.
Yeah.
But then he's like she's like, yeah, sure. Okay. She clearly is like married or something.
No, I think she's just not interested. I think when you're a go-go dancer like that,
yeah,
you can't really like reject
That's
men.
true.
So it's like you do the path of least resistance where you're like, sure, here's my number, like blah, blah, blah. And then like when they call and ask you on a weird date, you're like, okay. And then you think about it more and you're like, no, actually, like I don't want to be involved with this person.
So she calls back. Vinny's running around the house like manic, telling everyone about like that he just like spit so much game and he like got this hug. And then she calls back and he's like, just tell me what you're gonna tell me. And he's like, you don't want to go out with me tonight. She goes, no, I'm sorry.
And he just hangs up.
And he goes, yeah. And he hangs up and he storms outside, slams the door, and then pouts in the AstroTurf.
Angelina's sitting there laughing at him, which I was like, this is incredible.
I'd be laughing too. This is crazy. And then he's like all pissed.
Like, what do you expect? You creepily you come on way too strong while you're shit-faced at a beautiful woman, and she has to be nice to you because she's at work. And like, it's just like, and then you don't even have the wherewithal to try and be suave or be like, hey, I want to take, like Paul was like, I'm going to take you out tonight. Like, I'm going to bring you. Vinny's going to bring this girl he's in love with. I'm going to bring a girl I'm in love with, and you can come too. Like, being funny and like charming. Vinny like can't even muster that up. He just goes into like little boy mode.
And then so there's Polly's getting ready. By the way, Polly's hair, I'm just like ravaged by heat.
It's very dry, so it seems.
And then,
how does he get it to just stand up like that? Because it wants to like poof out when he blow dries it, but then it gets shellacked up.
Yeah.
It's kind of major.
So then Ramona calls him back.
No, he calls her.
He calls her again.
Yes, he keeps calling her.
And he like he basically like terrorizes her and is like, come on, I'll take you out, it'll be good. Come on.
Begs her and pleads with her to go. And then she's like,
okay, I'll see you soon.
Okay. And he's so like, he was like, sorry, I hung up. Like, I was actually mad at some other thing. And then you just said that. So I hung up, but it wasn't. And I was like, you're making this so much worse. And you're actually like, any woman would be like, after that kind of hostility, you're not going to say like, no, like you're going to just blow off a guy, because also it's like, he knows where you work now. So
yeah, she's scared of him. Clearly.
Which is weird.
And then he's all like giddy again, and he like waits for her,
and she obviously doesn't show up.
So that everyone else in the house goes out for like dinner, and Paul and
Rocio go on their beautiful date to eat calamari. And
then Angelina, Jose, and Sam and Ron are getting ready to go out. And then Sam goes, it came down to the conclusion that Vinny's girl ain't coming. And I feel really bad for the kid. And as they're walking out,
Vinny calls again, and she doesn't answer. And then Angelina goes,
come out with us.
If you want to come with us, you can come eat with us. I was like, on the double date from hell.
Yeah.
Which is Ron, Sam, Angelina, and Jose. Her cuck. Her cuck boyfriend. And Vinny just is like, he deserved this.
He did. And Angelina was kind of like,
she deserved it too. This was karma. Karma is a cat.
No, but I mean, for her to, I was like, she kind of won.
Oh yeah, this round.
I
think ultimately she loses.
Yeah.
In all rounds, but this round.
But that was freaky. Vinny freaked me out a little.
Well, I felt just true pity. I was like, I can't help but feel sorry for this loser who truly has no idea what he's doing.
For the kid.
And for the kid, Vinny. Because it was just so...
Trage.
Yeah. It was an exact what not to do.
Well, thank God we have more episodes.
Dolls.
Guys.
It's only episode 8, and I don't know how many there are, but I know there are a lot more than
like 12.
Last time. Guys,
So
we'll
happy
see you.
to be back. We only have a month left in this fucking year.
I know.
So
bizarre.
Batten down the hatches, Dole.
And then we'll see you next time. Bye.
Ciao.